Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the OK Run Show. Week number 6 weeks in, month and a
Let's
half into the
go.
season. It's crazy that we're already that deep into it. Shawn, big weekend. We had teams in 3 different states, probably 4. Someone ran in Texas, but I don't know
hmm
who.
There's so
But
much content. We've
lots of
been
people all
we've
over
been
the
getting after
place.
it this week
A
so
little
far.
more eventful than last week. Last week was pretty much like things that happened were stuff we'd expect to happen,
hmm
and not a lot of things happened. This week had a few more twists and turns. Where should we start? Let's start on the West Coast. Let's
Yeah,
go
I'll
to
get my
let's go to
strength
Woodbridge,
there
cross
here.
country. Kind of the unanimous number one team in Oklahoma went out there to test themselves against
All right.
obviously
Can you see
a
this,
lot of the
Colin?
best in the nation. Yes, I can.
Okay,
A
give
lot
me
of
a
the
sec.
the best of the best in the nation, and did pretty well for themselves. It's a notoriously
hmm
fast 3 mile course. Um, but still some pretty quick times. I mean, 14:58 for 3 miles, even on a flat course, is still pretty good. You know, that's
Sure.
still well under 16 minutes for a 5K. And they had what, two guys right about that 16 flat, just under 16 flat range. Another
hmm
guy probably 16:10 ish.
Yeah.
So I mean, nobody's gonna beat them unless they just have the
The
worst
only team
day. Do you have a
is
team?
maybe the only team is maybe Deer Creek, just because they've had a couple guys like right and like their whole top
Yeah,
five like sub 16:30, but I don't think anybody's gonna beat
I
Piedmont.
don't I don't think so. They look too good to have. Okay, for you had 8 guys all under
Mm.
16 minutes or 16:01 or faster for 3 miles.
So
So
like
like mid
16:40.
16s or
Yeah.
quicker for 3 miles. And even if you want to give them a 10-second penalty of like, that course is faster than any course they'll race here in Oklahoma, it's
Still, that's funny.
still like, okay, you got a bunch of guys that are 16:50 and faster.
hmm
Um, so not a bad showing at all.
I believe
Um,
they play somewhere in the 40s for the team,
30 something, like low 30s,
but
I
the
think.
girls
Girls
placed,
did.
I think, which is
Girls placed
pretty
a little
great.
higher.
I
Why
think
am
it
I
was,
blanking? They were fairly high, but Claire Collins, Brooke Collins, the Collins twins, 17 minutes flat. Um,
which I believe if we were to convert that, that'd be
17:40.
17:40, which would technically be the fastest time in the state so
Yeah,
far, you know.
technically would be. Brooke
What's
Collins.
interesting about that is that she was her previous PR, well, her time at, I believe, Rogers was like 18:17.
Yes.
So
She
that's a
was
math.
their she was their top girl last year at the state meet in cross
Yeah.
country. Her sister, or I guess younger sister, not twins. They're in different grades.
Mhm.
Um, Brooke had a much better track season. Looked
Yeah.
really good. Came into this year and up to this point had been their number one runner. But at this meet, Claire Collins steps up, runs the race of her life to this point, and 17 flat bodes pretty well for like that momentum going into the end of the season. That's
Yeah.
pretty big. That could possibly spell, I wouldn't say an upset. I'm not saying she's going to beat the powers that be in 6A. She's not beating Bella Nelson. If we start to make those claims, Bella will somehow pull it out and win. Um, but should be top three. Still has what, another year? Is junior. So she goes
Yeah.
run 17:40.
Junior, sophomore, freshman,
Yeah.
senior, sophomore, senior,
Yeah.
freshman.
They've got, yeah. In their top seven, they have two
Mm.
seniors and they were their 4 and their 6. That's, you know,
That's pretty dang crazy.
it's not like they're losing a ton of firepower. So they'll be good and they'll be good for a
Yeah.
few years here. And it's only what, their second year in 6A? Third
Something
year?
like that.
Second or third year in 6A. Um, so not bad. Can we flip what's next? Let's go to, do you have Missouri Southern pulled
I
up at all?
do. Yes,
Okay,
right
let's
here.
go to let's
We'll
go to
start with the
Moso,
girls.
a course that I have run way too many times. I think one point I ran it 3 times in a year.
Look at the team scores real quick before we go into that. Owasso won.
Yeah, and won big.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. Dang,
Yeah, we were
that's big.
so
And then
mesmerized by
there's
the men's
Lincoln at
race.
8,
Lincoln Christian 8th.
Kelly at
Yeah,
10.
yeah, pretty good
Heck,
showings.
more.
More women. That's actually kind of a bigger. That's
Oh,
actually a bigger
more from
surprise to me.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no
Well,
more in
dadgummit.
Kansas. There's no more Missouri. Go to the individual
We're
results.
up right now. I'm gonna tell you. It'll click. There we go.
Go here.
Oh, dadgummit.
Okay. So Bella's second overall, but first of
Yeah.
people that score. What'd she run?
1801.
1801. Still not a bad showing. It's
Teammate, Ava,
yeah.
1802. What was pretty interesting about that?
Been Gwyn in fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Woodbridge being the number 1 runner for stepping up on the day to be
Yeah.
Lincoln Christian's number 1.
37.
Kate Holbrook, because I remember seeing Kate Holbrook
There's-
broke their school record.
Yeah, 1906. And then Virginia,
1906.
Milwee. I
That
think
may
that's
not be Mount St. Mary,
St.
Oklahoma.
Mary.
I don't know.
You know,
There's Mount St. Mary's all over the place, so I don't want to make a claim.
there.
But yeah, Wasso.
There's Owasso. There's her third, I believe.
Yeah, so flew past us.
Mm-hmm. There's another athlete from Moore.
More. Yep.
Bishop Kelly's 2 right here.
All right, can we flip
To the
let's
boys.
flip to the boys. The boys maybe had a little bigger of a headline, of course. We have a new state lead. We have a new potentially state number 1 guy.
Yeah, I
And how
think it's the freshman record. It's gotta
yes,
be.
I would need to
I
do
don't
more
imagine
research.
anybody running faster than that as a
I
freshman.
don't think because Daraje
Go to
ran
team score first.
15:35. Daraje
The
ran
boys,
15:35.
Lincoln was our top at 6. Bishop Kelly at 11. Moore at 13.
Who do they run? Because I'm surprised they didn't have someone finish a little higher after seeing what like Ty Brooks did at Rogers.
I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so we have
Dominic Matthias, 15:18.
has to be the quickest
Zachary
freshman.
Williams, 15:30. Which
So
he's now run 15:21 twice and 15:30 twice, which is pretty dang
yeah,
impressive.
it's pretty dang impressive. Very consistent.
Mhm.
But I have to be the hater on the podcast because him and I have a wager. I don't even think there's any consequences on the line or anything. But basically, the narrative now is I don't believe in him. I'm going to be a hater until he breaks 15 minutes as a friendly banter on our Stravas. Ethan Jones.
And he's now run under 16 3 times.
He's running the 1540 so many times.
Yeah, this was 15:36.
So good to see him get under it. Who's our next person? We had all in 20th. I know
Bishop
was
Kelly,
Lincoln.
Eli Horland was the
1608. Okay.
There's the two. There's Sammy Ferris and Trevor Hacker
Okay,
from
so they didn't run Ty Brooks.
They did.
He
just
did run
didn't
Ty Brooks?
No. Yeah, they did. I think so.
Where was he at?
We're going down. Ty Brooks.
Oh, not a good day for Ty Brooks.
But what makes that interesting is now they've got 3 guys who could either get into like 16 low or 15 something.
Yeah,
which
it's
makes them pretty dangerous.
they're gonna win 4A.
And there's
Yeah,
Charlie
that ship
Ritchie,
has sailed.
kind of
They're
had
gonna
a
win. They're gonna win
and
4A. Bishop
16.
Kelly, very strong 5A.
Yeah. There's Isaac Horlid, 1645. Sepulpa's number 1 guy came through in 1648.
It is a quick course for sure.
Coweta had a guy go sub 17.
Actually,
for them.
it's quick-ish.
Yeah.
It's not Rogers quick.
No.
It's certainly not. It's not a racetrack. But the footing is like you don't have thick grass you're trying to run through the whole time. It's pretty much just dirt. So you can kind of get flying, even though there is some hill to it, but no hill that like is gonna kill you. Hill. And I know they have, at least for the collegiate races, they have added a little section so that it is now the correct distance. Because for a while there, it was like short, but they made it, I believe, at least last year. So I imagine the new 5K loop is a genuine 5K too.
Mm-hmm.
Versus in the past, you could debate, was it even a 5K?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
what is this? This is Arkansas. Over in Arkansas.
This is
Jinx went to
Sugar
Arkansas.
Creek. So Jinx went to Arkansas.
Okay.
Another, so 15 again for Brody
Mm.
Masson. That's now I think every 5K
It
has been sub 16
becomes it becomes an interesting conversation piece that you go,
because of
okay,
look.
do you
Yeah.
like the consistency of like Mez, who we've for the last few years has been consistently always there? Do
Mm-hmm.
you like maybe the potential of, Brody or
Yeah.
Dominic?
Well, I think
Like,
what makes this guy dangerous is that he has a lot of speed.
yeah, he has more speed, at
And
least
then
in
he
800
runs
PBs.
yeah.
So do you like, Brody's speed, or do you like maybe the upside and the freshman coming alive here late?
Mhm.
You get that momentum, especially as a freshman. You almost get like, and it's very helpful, but you get almost an unwarranted self belief that you can take on the
Yeah.
world, especially after a
Exactly.
performance like that, run a 15-18. That
Yeah.
like, there's so much that confidence can do for you, and it may just he may be able to ride it all the way through to a state title, and I wouldn't be too shocked. But also, like someone like Mez, who's just so like, he's always gonna be there. He's always consistent. He has beat him head to head, I think
Yeah.
twice
Twice.
this year.
Yeah.
He's beat him head to head twice. He knows how to get it done when it matters.
Uh-huh.
Mez
I actually
has
saw him at church on Sunday. So
okay.
shout out Mez.
Shout out Mez. Hope you listen to this. We'll see you on basically your home course this weekend. I would be shocked if they didn't run Jamboree,
He
being that he
is. He's
lives in
fun.
Stillwater. Um, I it's kind of like, who do you like? What
It's tough.
upside do you want? Do you
I do
want the
know
speed
that
of Brody?
I think if the freshman wins, that'd be the first freshman to win 6A state since Cheyenne Walden, I think.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think Peyton did it.
yeah, and I can't remember a guy of recent years.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can't think of a guy that's come close.
What's also interesting about this is you got Edmond
Putting two guys at 16
1504,
minutes.
1601, 1616, but then they've got 1707, 1718. But if these two can reach under 17, that makes them
That makes that
again
interesting.
solid. Yeah.
That makes them fairly that raises them to where I'm still only putting them second. I still think Piedmont, at least right now, has got it made.
Mm-hmm.
But that does make it a more interesting conversation.
And for Jinx, I mean 1619, 1631, but then after that,
they don't have the
bit of a
back
drop
end.
off, 25, and then you
Yeah.
got
And I also
uh,
don't know. Do you know where this course is at? I know it's in Arkansas.
I've
Do you know
never
who
ran this
do you know who
course.
hosted it? Because I may have, because they switched
Bentonville.
Bentonville. I don't think we ran there. Because I remember one year they had to change, it was my senior year. They had to change the Oklahoma Arkansas duel to at a different school in Arkansas, like close to Rogers, the Rogers Bentonville
Yeah.
area. And I don't remember if it was at Bentonville High School. Because if it was, that course is like, that's pretty legit to run those times there.
Good Lord, 1739 from a freshman.
Yeah, and 17-10 out of the junior.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
anyway,
Arkansas usually has some firepower, but Emma Johnson beating Charlie Keeley and Kate
1805.
Barber
That's
and
huge.
handedly beating them, not like, oh, she got him at the line or something. That's a pretty like
And
statement victory there.
school, yeah, no, for sure. So you got 1805, then you got
Yeah.
1932, 1937, 1958, and then 2022.
How did the
That's a
team race go between those two
solid
schools?
squad. And then Jinx even better. 33, 45, 42, 52, 53. So I'm assuming Jinx won that one, but
Yeah,
not by a ton
that's
though.
yeah. That's a
I think Bentonville won that. Just
Bentonville probably, yeah.
because you got
I'd
6, 7,
imagine.
8, 10. Yeah, yeah, they won.
Yeah. Um Now to actually go to our own state, let's go to pre-state. Let's just start. Oh, we're at Holland Hall first. All right.
Let's do Holland Hall because
Let's
it's
do Holland
quick.
Hall. It's quick.
You know,
It's easy.
it's gonna take forever.
Um,
My sister won.
woo.
Cool.
He hates to give his sister props, you know?
uh, let's see. Well, the team battle was won by Thomas Edison. They have a solid squad.
They're they're solid for sure. They're
And I mean, this
you just
course
don't
is
get to see them
very
against
tough
the top of the top.
too. So like you can't really see like, 2010, I believe in 2022, I believe she's ran like 18 high. It's just this is a tough course. So you can't
Hmm.
really go off the times for this one.
No.
So that's pretty impressive. And then you've got Holland Hall boys, Broken Arrow, they got the job done pretty handily.
Yeah, by a minute on average. They averaged a minute
Let's
quicker.
see. Rylan Coleman, though, out of Sapulpa got the win.
Hey, there you go.
There you
He didn't go
go.
with him to Moso.
Guess not. Caleb
So
Lamb, BA, Julian Powers. It looks like they didn't run
an entire A squad.
Aaron Tompkins, is his name.
Yeah. So they were at least a guy short.
hmm But
Hmm.
pretty solid.
Interesting.
All right,
I
moving
always
on.
loved it because we get to speculate like, oh, are these coaches scheming something, or is possibly an
Yeah.
athlete injured? Like, what's happening here?
Now we're at the main event, the
The main
JV.
event, JV boys, what everybody loves and cares
Deer
about the
Creek
most.
got the job done. There was a
JV
lot of
boys.
trash
That
talk. A
is
lot of people were talking
they
mess, and Deer Creek got the job done.
Deer Creek dominated. They heard all the
Good
trash talking out
God.
of Edmond, out of Memorial, and we're just like, yeah, okay.
You got 5 dudes like running in the 17s.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then you got 7 dudes in the 17s, and then two kind of like right there.
They put 7 guys in front of Memorial's one. So I think Memorial's odds of winning. Now, granted, JV State, if Memorial runs their varsity squad against the JV, I would like to do someone do the math on that and let me know. Deer
That would
Creek boys
I
and
could probably
whatever.
get that
Wait,
done for
go
you real
wait,
quick.
just show the averages. Like they average like 1730. Go see what
It's
Edmond
gotta be,
Memorial.
yeah.
Go see what Edmond Memorial like ran in the varsity race. If they didn't run at least close to there, they're not gonna win. Even if they have to put a varsity squad up against Deer Creek's A.
Oh no, it would have been a massacre.
All right. Well, never
Never
mind.
mind.
Never mind. I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
All right. JV girls. I don't that way there wasn't much trash talk, but Deer Creek also got that
Yeah,
done. Not by
yeah,
as much though. It was more close that race.
yeah.
Um, all right, 6A boys at Deer Creek, 42 to Edmond 49.
Close one.
Let's
Close
see.
one.
There's Mezbar's
Mez,
15
he gets it done.
35K
He
has been
gets
under
it done. He
every
gets it
fight.
done. He's my pick to win.
hmm
State. Does he have as high of a ceiling as some of the other guys? Probably not, you know, but he just gets it done
hmm
every single time.
What's interesting though is I believe Micah John was their athlete that was
He
hurt.
was. He was.
So 1609. Then you got
Not
a 16,
bad. Not a bad start to your season.
30, 42, 45. And I think George Simons ran low 16s before.
I'm not sure what he's run, but I know he has run like 156 for the 800.
Yeah. So they got a good squad,
Got
but
some
like
upside.
for Piedmont, it's gonna be tough for anybody to beat Piedmont as of now.
Mm-hmm.
Memorials won, Camden McCool, 1611. Had a guy 1628, Elijah Stone, 1631, 1635. That's a pretty good performance for that team. They're always good though. Like they're always
Yeah.
solid.
Memorial usually has this solid team. It's just we think back to like what they used to be,
Yeah.
like Jed Helker and just like how
Mhm.
crazy they were. And then since it's been a few years since then, we forget sometimes that like, hey, Memorial is good, even though they haven't had like
Yeah.
the headlines as much. Um,
Your 6A varsity girls,
Big
Deer
win for
Creek
Deer Creek.
and then Edmond got second. Santa Collins, 1832. I believe she ran 1745 in a
Yeah.
3 mile ish. So
Um,
that makes it pretty close. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, she wins by 30 seconds. You could imagine she didn't have to just like all out exert herself in order to,
mm,
win the whole
she's
thing.
kind of like at that point where she's like not in the top 10, but she's pretty close to it. So she's at like 11,
She's in
12,
the top 10.
13.
Well, okay, top 10 of the whole state, maybe not.
Which
Um,
we'll actually pull that up here soon, so we can talk about it
yes.
later. But Deer Creek's won 1920, Ava Tice 1911. So pretty solid. Riley Woodcock, I'm assuming that's Brody's sister.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think.
Yeah.
You'd
All
think.
right.
Oh, I wonder who this Presley Rutledge is. I wonder if she could be of relation to former Union athlete Shawn Rutledge.
Yeah. All right. 5A
5A. Who won as a
boys.
team?
Klassen got the win.
Klassen.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I
That
don't think
Guyman
anybody's
got
beaten.
fifth,
Yeah, they didn't look good. They don't have the depth.
but they
They
did
have
have
front
the top
end.
defense.
They
Yeah.
just they lost enough that they don't have the depth. And it's yeah.
See, I have a prediction about 5A. I think it's going to be fast, like 15-30 to win. Couple guys on like under 16.
Yeah.
Just because
I
I mean,
wouldn't
I
be
think
shocked.
guys are all going to be a
Yeah, they'll
lot.
run under 16
Yeah.
on the day. Um,
I believe Isaiah Blevins has.
I think he's run 16 low. I don't think
Okay.
he's stuck under yet.
Hold on, I gotta.
Um,
What else do you see here, Colin? If
yeah, I mean
anything,
Ethan Brooks, freshman getting fifth overall, for El Reno. Won't necessarily be
Brown.
a big factor this year, but like in years to come, obviously we know his talent level. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
Duncan girls won 5 again. Hard to see them
Avery
beating
Strager,
Bishop Kelly. Like
2032. Yeah.
it's hard to see anybody beating Bishop Kelly right now in that division, both boys and girls. And so it's kind of a boring. You scroll past the
This
team.
is it right here.
Yeah, but go up to the team.
Oh, yeah. Bing.
Yeah, Bing, I think is shaping up to be probably your second best team. They've kind of
You got Lincoln,
overtaken
Bing, Ash,
they've
those
kind of
three.
overtaken Cash to me in that they have more depth. And there's one other team that I feel like I'm forgetting that is actually very solid on the
And
men's
Jaden
side.
Polk, sophomore. I think
Yeah,
he's coming first at every meet he's competed at so far.
he has won second place, I believe.
Okay.
Uh,
1628 is pretty dang good though.
yeah, he's been 1620s like 3 times in a row here the last 3 weekends. To beat
Um,
Aiden Evans is a
yeah.
guy who's been an all-stater on track. I mean, he's yeah, pretty big victory there.
Which here's a cash athlete right here, actually. They
Yes, that's
must
their
have
number
sent one of
three.
them there, yeah.
That's their number three. They
Bing's got
don't have enough depth because our next guy was 1925.
yeah.
That's not winning them a state title.
No.
4A girls
Bing once again.
being, I believe
Uh
Plainview is somewhere else. Cash,
Cash.
the Cash
1201.
girls are good. I highlighted them in my last like small school girls article.
What I do want to bring up is there was a eighth grader who ran like 11:38 at Holland Hall,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
technically I know a lot of the best athletes in the state aren't going to run a 2 mile, but that would technically be the fastest 2 mile in the
yeah,
state
yeah.
across any like age.
I think that'll be
Boy,
the fastest time in the state until the state meet, unless we get a crazy matchup at
yeah,
regionals.
yeah.
Because I think between the Plainview girls and the Lincoln girls, I think they'll sneak under that time.
Hmm.
But I'm hard
Pretty
pressed to
crazy.
see anybody doing
Pretty
it
crazy.
until we get that like big barn burner race at the end of the year.
Hmm.
Keep
Um,
let's keep scrolling here. 3A
3A,
boys,
OCA got it done.
OCS beating Crossings
Levi
Christian.
Haynes. Do you know what
I think
K means?
he's a senior. I think that was just, I
Just a
mean, I
mistake.
don't think he's a kindergartner.
Yeah, you'd
That'd be
hope
crazy.
that'd
1642
be
out of a kindergartner
insane.
would be a world record.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Um, yeah,
Um,
dude, he's been on infinite threshold since he was 7. Um, that's what Levi
pretty
Haynes is
solid
on.
here. I mean, nothing too crazy, but
Yeah, I mean, Cassidy kind of looks really good.
Mhm.
They beat him earlier and they beat him pretty handedly. They're
Yeah.
Cassidy's the defending state champs. They've looked pretty good. They've had a kind of a multitude of guys kind of show out for them. So their depth, their everything. Bethel, pretty good.
Yep.
Bethel's kind of a potential team champion.
1241.
3A girls individually, probably not your individual champion there, but hey, who knows?
And then
The
Hooker for
Hooker
2
boys,
boys. 1850.
yeah.
I'm not super.
They
Well, I
won't
know
run.
Braden Cohen can run a lot faster
He's
than
running
that.
a lot faster. I also don't know how they ordered this. I imagine the same order as state, but I don't know that order. And I don't know
Yeah.
if this was like the heat of the day. And so everybody's like, all right, we're not
I'm
racing that hard.
pretty
Um,
positive it's at like 2 p.m. So
yeah.
it's probably 100 degrees outside.
I was sweating like crazy at that time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because football games, yeah.
Yeah.
Football games are
Ray
warm.
Girls, Hooker once again scored 20 points.
Hooker girls look I think it's kind of a flip-flop of the boys because like the Hooker boys,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about them winning.
Yeah.
Because I think Regent Prep is so good right now. And like not just that they've had Clay McKinney run fast, they had a group of guys pack up so well that they're like 2 through 6 will all probably run together at the state meet. And I just don't think Hooker can beat that this year. Isabella
Mm-hmm.
Neville, this is kind of a upset. She'd been beat by Reese Coleman of Watonga there, who placed 5th a few times this year. Miley Holtz has been looking good. She's been running about 12:45 over and over again. But for Neville to win it, I think she has the best 800 speed of everybody, and 800 speed matters more in a 3200 than it does a 5K. So,
Mm-hmm.
Sweetwater boys outside of Southwest Covenant, Sweetwater boys look really good. Moreland boys look really good. Laverne's probably year 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But Sweetwater's probably in that contention for 2. I think Southwest Covenant looks so good right now. And finishing up with the A girls, Texhoma. Southwest Covenant looks unbeatable in this. I hate to say it because they
Mm-hmm.
average like 13:30. You know,
Yeah.
they don't average 15 minutes, they average like 13:30. And yeah, I'm hard pressed to see anybody really beating them. Same as the boys.
Can you see
Um,
this going?
yes, I can. I can see
Okay.
the averages.
So these are wait, can you see like the image?
The image of what? The team points?
The rankings.
No, the rankings are not pulled up.
Oh, okay.
The rankings are not on my screen, at least.
Hold on. I'm gonna get this
Uh,
figured out. Keep talking.
yeah, I'll keep talking about distance running. So I think the boys' side, Southwest Covenant, looks
Can
really,
you see
really good.
this?
Hey, there it is.
There it
All right,
is.
get into it, Shawn. Give us your reasoning because you are the
Oh
guy that
gosh.
makes these.
I have an
So
article coming
you
out
want to
tomorrow at
go?
12:01 a.m. So it'll explain my reasonings in more detail. But
Give us the brief rundown. Give
yeah,
us the
so
highlights.
it's really hard at this point in the season to make rankings because it's like outside of, I mean, you're 1 and 2. I mean, it can kind of go either way for a lot of these athletes. Um, Ava Cornelius has a faster PR, but Charlie has beat her once in their single matchup. And she's also beaten Claire Collins twice, Emma Johnson once, Ava once, Brooke Collins twice, Kate Barber every race, Tayton twice, and then Presley twice. So that's why she's at 3. I mean, she just proves it every single race. And then, but I mean, Ava was previously ranked, I believe, 7 or 8, and then she's jumped to 4 because of 1802. I mean, it's pretty dang solid. Um, so right now for 6A, it's kind of up in the air for 6A. I mean, she's probably gonna win, but you've got Charlie, Ava, Claire, Emma, Brooke, Kate. Like any of these athletes could place 2 through 15,
Mm-hmm.
more or less. You just got a
Mm,
lot of
yeah.
athletes
You do
that
have a lot of
can
athletes that are right
get
about
it
that
done.
18 flat mark. I mean,
Yeah.
when we spoke about Sienna Collins, who's run 1750, 1740 something.
Hmm.
Debatable that we heard allegedly they took a wrong turn that week on that course, but like
Yeah.
is still undefeated so far this season. Granted, has raced only twice. We didn't get to see her at Deer Creek, so we didn't get to see her in a head to head against
Yeah.
literally everybody else on this list except
Hmm.
for the Owasso girls.
I do want
Um,
to point out for Piedmont, I think NXR, that's our best chance. I mean, with the Piedmont, I mean, for this program exactly, I mean, you've got if she can run under 18, and then you've got Brooke Collins who could squeak under 18, and then you've got Tayton Childers who could get close to that. Then you've got I'm blanking on
the
the other two names, but they're
Caldwell
fast.
sisters.
Yeah. So that's pretty telling. Um, Colin, if I pull up the boys, can you see that or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
You,
Yeah,
okay, so
it's
you can see the
girls
boys
still.
too.
It's still girls.
Okay, hold on. It's
Still
having me do
women.
that. About what about now?
We can see them.
Got this. Okay.
Okay, give us your
This was
reasonings.
this was hard. I almost I don't know if I agree with what I put down because the
Because you
boys are
can
even
make it,
more
you can
like
kind of make an argument for any of the top three, probably even top four to be number one.
I would say top four all have an argument, and
Hmm.
then fifth, I mean, I think
Clay's a
that's
pretty
fair.
obvious fifth, though.
It's just because I mean I ended up doing the same ranking for number one because I mean he's just been so consistent. It's
Hmm.
but he's lost to I
He's lost to
believe
Dominic Matthias, who's
Dominic
lost to Mez
twice.
Barth, who's lost to
Twice.
Zachary Williams. So you just kind of go in a revolving
Yeah,
circle there.
exactly.
So
So I mean, really you could say that he's number one, he's number one, he's number one, he's number one.
yeah,
I wouldn't argue with you if you picked one of those guys. This is just what I went off of because although the fastest time is in second, he's
yeah,
lost to third place
could
twice,
it
but he's
could
beat
be
first
kind of
place
a
twice,
I
but
don't want to call it a
he's
fluke, but
third,
yeah, it could be a little bit of like he just had his day.
Yeah,
And maybe they race again. I don't know if Dominic's going to Chili Pepper. I do believe Zachary Williams is going to Chili Pepper, but they may race there and it may be the complete opposite outcome.
I believe that Dominic might be going to Cowboy Jamboree, but I forgot where
Okay.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And I will
And
probably get the entries here in a couple of days so we can answer that
yeah,
for us.
of course. And then we'll have him versus likely Mez versus
Hmm.
likely some other guys on this list. I do believe Mustang usually comes.
Yeah. And then
So
fifth, I mean, we talked about it, 1527.
yeah, yeah.
He's also he ran 1540 something at MSSU small division, I believe.
Small
So
school division, yeah.
had and at Deer Creek, he was all right. I mean, so I feel like he's a solid fifth.
Yeah, not a bad choice.
Six, 7, 8, and 9 are pretty tough.
Yeah, we haven't got to see Noah Thayer in
I
a little
believe
while.
Kimmery, I had him 9 or 10. I bumped him up
Hmm.
because I mean that does equal out to like probably a 1532, 35, more or
Yeah,
less. But Piedmont's by far the best team in the state. He's been their top guy every single race. I think that should put him at sixth.
right.
I almost put him fifth, to be honest with you. Um, Ethan Jones, you could have put him higher too. He's run consistent every single meet. He's run under 16 three times. In the one that he didn't, he got first, so who cares? Charlie is a tough one because he's had one great performance, but then everything else has been not anywhere near as good.
Hmm.
So, but he hasn't been bad.
1532 is pretty good.
1532 is actually, I believe, the fifth fastest time in the state.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, at least off raw times, yeah, for sure.
Mhm. And then, I mean, I believe we put Thayer at 3 coming into the season. He just hasn't raced a lot. He was okay at Deer Creek. He got first and ran 1534 at his home meet, which is great, but then we haven't seen him since.
We haven't seen
So,
him. We've only seen really Tegan Nelson.
but I
He
don't
raced
want
it
people to
pre-state.
forget that he is the
Yeah.
favorite for 6A before the season started. I mean, the guy got second last year. He ran 153 and 413 in track. He's on paper your
I
favorite,
think
but I don't know what's gonna happen. So
I think if we don't see him for like another week or two, we just kind of like he drops out of the rankings.
yeah,
Just because at that point I start to go, they're not resting him, he's hurt.
yeah,
At a certain point, you're not just resting guys, they're injured. And
and that's
at that
especially
point, even if
true.
you're
Yeah.
and if at this point in the season,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to be like, okay, you're gonna want to run one of these big ones.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go against some big competition before you meet it at the state meet. You're going to want to
Yeah.
run fast before you have to run fast at state. You're going to want to, all these
Yeah.
things. And to see him not go out there makes me think, even though I don't know anything, that he is injured and that these other guys should be, and there's guys knocking on the door of these
Mhm.
rankings that should possibly be included. I mean, think
Exactly.
about Eli Horled, who's been Bishop Kelly's one other than RSU.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? So
There's
like,
also a bunch of guys who have ran 1540 to like
yeah,
1559
for sure.
that
There's
are
a lot of guys
injured.
you can make arguments that could be 6 through 10.
Yeah, but
And you
we
can make
ended up
arguments that
putting
some of these guys could be, I don't really know if you
Mhm.
could put any of the guys that are really 5 through 10 in the top 4. I think the top 4 is
pretty
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 clear
set,
because
at
like
least for now. But who
because like
knows?
Clay's season has been, he got beat by most of these guys, I think, other than maybe Noah Thayer at Deer Creek, of the guys that raced.
Mhm.
So he got beat by all those guys. He ran a couple more times where he was running like 16s and wasn't even winning the races. Like at
Yeah.
Carl Albert, didn't win, ran like 16:40. And then he goes to RSU and runs 15:27. But he's backed it up again with going like, hey, ball don't lie. I moved to a course that is slower than RSU, which is 98.7% of courses in the nation,
Mm-hmm.
and runs 15:40. So probably a very equal performance to what he ran there. So you can be like, okay, maybe some of those earlier races just didn't have good days or wasn't quite ready. And now here he is, he's going, he's fit, and he's got confidence. Obviously, you run 15:27. You wake up like, hey, I'm a 15:27 guy, not a 16:40 guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you kind of attack the day a little
Mhm.
more. So
We ended up at 10. This was tough. I mean, you could have put a few athletes here,
yeah.
but I mean, he didn't have a great meet at
Yeah.
MSSU,
But he's
but
been so
he's
consistent the
still
rest of the season.
their top guy. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe Lincoln Christian off of time is like fourth in the state right now, maybe third.
They are. He's consistently their number one. He just wasn't this last weekend. Probably
Mm,
just had a bad day. You never know.
yeah.
Like, he'll be back. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, Good to see for them that they have Sammy Ferris back in the lineup full time, because he
Mm,
did miss, I think, a week or two of the season. Like, he ran well for them at their like opener,
yeah.
and then he didn't run, I believe, at the relay race in Owasso, and maybe like one other time. I don't even know if he raced RSU. I cannot remember. But like, good to see that he's back full time in the rotation, and that was a case of like, they were resting him, you
Yeah.
know, not a case of, oh, something's wrong and something's very wrong. So
Hmm.
I think that
Well,
pretty well covers everything for the week.
covers it. We'll be at the Cowboy Jamboree
We will.
this weekend.
Chili
It's
Peppers also going on, so
gonna be a
another kind
blast.
of interesting race to follow out
Yeah.
there. But yeah, come say hello to us at OSU.
Hmm.
We'll be running around like madmen trying to get pictures and videos for the 2 races.
Yeah.
I am very thankful. I believe it is only 2 races. I don't think they do a JV,
They don't do a JV.
and I'm very thankful for that. Just run one. I
Hmm.
love it.
It
They
makes
have a
our
big enough
job.
course to accommodate that. Not every course can accommodate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that's it. So Shawn,
Oh no.
the weekly
The
life
weekly
advice from a
life
psychology
advice
major,
from a
mile
21.
split editor, a former all-state runner, former
Oh,
collegiate runner,
oh man,
all
we're
the
getting
accolades here. You have to have just be full of advice. So we're gonna continue to pick your brain all season. Tell the kids what they should be thinking about this week.
Oh man.
give them something to ponder.
Um, hmm. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I've said in past weeks because
Well,
I
if
think
you
I
repeat
need to
it, it
like
must be
write it
important.
down.
If you repeat it, it must be important, right? So I think, it's
Um,
okay if you do end up repeating one.
okay. Be able to decide when to persevere, but also when to just stop.
All right.
Because sometimes you need to persevere through things, but sometimes you also have to be like, hey, you know what? I probably can't do this and just let go of pride. But it takes a lot of practice to, I feel like, do that in a good way.
I like the look at the end. But anyway, I believe
Got a
that's it.
spot, man. It's tough. I don't know.
That's it from us this week. We'll catch you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.